You ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to this week's Football Talk podcast. I am Josh Cole, and on the other end of the line is Mr. Dave Nichols.
Hello! Welcome to 2020. It's exactly the
Happy
same.
New Year!
Happy New Year, yeah. Happy New Year.
New decade, our fifth decade, and what will football have in store for 2020? Probably much of the same.
Robot referees. Oh, maybe not in 2020, but...
No. That would be amazing.
that would be a big jump. That would be a big jump. So
every time I see robots, I always think they should be much more developed than they are. Like, you see a robot and you're like, oh, is that what we're up to? They can do something they're specifically programmed to do. Like, you see like a running robot, like, great. But they've made that robot specifically to run. It can't do nothing else.
Yeah,
like,
but then so imagine. So you have that vision of what you think a robot should be because of all the stuff we've had when we were like younger and growing up, and how much the films were like, oh, you know, in 2020 you won't have to do anything because robots will do. You'll have robots in your house that will do everything for you. Imagine what it's like being a kid now, and in like 30 years' time, them saying, oh, we'll all have a flying car and we'll all be on Moon and Mars and doing that. And then in 30 years' time, on Moon, we'll all be onto Moon and we're not. But that's the thing, isn't it? Because you're comparing it to what you grew up with in films and stuff like that.
I'm comparing it to how advanced other stuff is, and it seems a bit shit. Do you welcome the age of AI? Do you think
massively. Maybe not in football, but...
No.
I mean, I work with AI. I don't develop it, but things I'm doing use AI to help them be better. So I'm well on board with it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Well clever. Yeah. Thoughts, viewers, listeners, let us know down below what your thoughts on AI.
Do you know, my thoughts are it's a bit scary because it gets to a point of automation of like work, and then how many people are out of jobs? Does that mean that universal income comes in because or jobs are done for us? I can't quite work out how it all fits together.
They can't do all the jobs, Josh. They cannot do all the jobs. They still need quality control, something that a robot can't do.
Yeah, yes, so... but there'll be many jobs that do get.
Oh yeah.
And therefore, what happens to those people? Or do we just
just
send them
kill
to
them
a
off.
different country?
Yeah. Send them to the moon. Send them on Moon.
Moon is filled with people who lost their jobs to robots.
Yeah.
That would not be a great start.
No.
But that is not the theme of this week's podcast. This week's podcast, we have FA Cup weekend, which for me has felt quite similar to an international break, if I'm honest. So we will be covering our news. I will be quizzing Dave. We'll see how much he flails with this one. We'll have a review of some of the midweek Premier League games, because obviously a packed Premier League Christmas period. A few FA Cup games that we'll discuss. We'll move on to a Wikifiles, where again I am challenging Dave. I've got a good one this week. I've got a good one. And then we're going to cover our pre-season predictions. So we're about halfway stage of the season, so we'll see how well Dave and I are getting on.
Spoilers, absolutely terribly. I think I haven't actually checked. I've left this all down to you because you're hosting this week. So
it's not bad.
Okay, all right.
Some stuff you can't be too far off, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's cover the news. And Dave, what has caught your eye in the last week of football?
There's actually been quite a lot, hasn't there? I mean, we could start with managers or injuries. I'd start with injuries. Let's go injuries first.
Oh, do we have to?
Is it finally, like, will this be the year that the FA realises, oh yeah, Jesus, maybe there are too many games over Christmas? I mean, big injuries that have happened. It's Harry Kane, obviously, affecting you guys. What's the next big one you can remember? You can think of?
Aston Villa are absolutely buggered now. By the way,
they've lost their key players at either end, haven't they? Wesley up front, who's just started scoring goals as well, and then Tom Heaton in goal, who, well, has never really been keeping them out, but he is a very crucial part and cog of their team. Who else is there? Wolves have had
Callum Chambers as for Arsenal is one of the few defenders who actually could do something. I wouldn't say he's like a world beater, but I mean none of their defenders, although David Luiz seems to have transformed again. maybe it's sideshow Bob pretend to be Krusty. Who knows? But yeah, it is that, and over that festive period, as much as I really enjoy watching the games, you do feel like there's a. It could just be Boxing Day, New Year's Day. That game in between just seems like a bit too much.
It does. It seems very unnecessary. It seems like you could fit that game earlier on in the season, midweek, before like the League Cup started and everything like that. Like,
agreed.
Whack it in there. I mean, because obviously, and then before it, you had Laporte was injured, wasn't he, for Man City?
And Sane's obviously injured. They're getting back to fitness now. Actually,
yeah, they do.
Because I was reading the other day that Liverpool's dodgy period is typically January. So if they were to say to have a dodgy period in January, and it'd have to be a properly dodgy period for it to be interesting, because they're 13, 14 points ahead of Leicester.
Yeah.
But say they do, and say it narrows down to a couple of wins. So they lose a couple, and it's down to 6-7 points. Laporte and Sane come back, and Man City are firing. That's what's needed to make it interesting, because those two should be returning kind of February time. But I'm clutching at straws to make the league, the title challenge interesting there. I think.
I don't think it's interesting.
But linked to the two Aston Villa injuries, have you heard of the two names? I've only heard one player for each position mentioned. Hopefully, there's better ones mentioned. But have you heard the goalkeeper and the striker who have been mooted to?
I haven't.
Okay, so we have a similar signing would be to Tom Heaton from the same club that they're buying from. Joe Hart, and the Wesley replacement would be a former Premier League striker who I think last I knew was playing in Turkey.
Daniel
a lot of Premier League goals. No, it's worse than that. It's Adebayor.
Oh my word! Okay, yeah, that's surely they've got players in their like youth team that are just as good. I mean, surely their backup goalkeeper.
Both of them. They're hoping. Because both of them, if Joe Hart and Adebayor played at their peak, I mean Adebayor's got to be like mid-30s now.
Yeah.
But if they both played to the level that they are capable of, then they'd be really good signings. But the problem is they're very hot and cold, those players, and they're typically the signings that clubs like this make, because they haven't got all the money. They're kind of hope isn't a strategy, but
they could have a lot of money, couldn't they, if they sold Jack Grealish?
That would be a very, very brave decision.
Yeah, it would. But
you go, all right, I'll take the, what do you reckon, 50 million for Jack Grealish?
45 buyout clause I think he's got, apparently. Yeah.
But then still, like with 45 million, what do you do with that?
Yeah, true. I don't know.
I don't know what that gets you in January, to be honest with you. What gets you Jack Grealish?
Well, yeah, very true. Yeah.
Make us re-sign Jack Grealish.
Yeah, it is interesting. It is. It's like... I can't see why. When I can't even remember the last time Joe Hart even played football, like in goal, in a competitive game. Probably the League Cup.
Yeah, I was going to say there's got to be a League Cup appearance this season. Maybe stepped in for an appearance of some sorts. Maybe like covering someone in a cup in a league match. Let's have a look. No, in the National Cup. Was this a national? Oh, it's going to be the FA Cup, isn't it?
Yeah. And I wouldn't go for Adebayor. I mean, who's their backup striker? Oh, it's like Kodja, isn't it, or something?
And Spurs are in the same situation with backup strikers. Obviously, we have no one. We have Troy Parrott, who was 17, 18.
Just shove Son up front, don't you? That's what you do when Kane gets injured.
But I'm not sure that's really Mourinho's way. That was kind of Pochettino's way, but I think Mourinho does like a physical presence up front, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Do you know who I could? I mean, it would complete a trifecta of London clubs, but I could see Olivier Giroud being signed.
No, I don't. I see him possibly going on loan to Villa.
You're Giroud, right? And you obviously got your Arsenal past, you've got your Chelsea present.
Yeah.
And say Tottenham and Villa came in for you.
Yeah.
There's only one decision you'd make there. Or is his Arsenal ties too strong that he wouldn't do that?
Well, if his Arsenal strong,
he's got the buffer of Chelsea in between.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to remember how. I was going to say Fabregas, but he did Arsenal, Barcelona, Chelsea. It's not Arsenal.
Well, I'm thinking. The other player I can think of done it is William Gallas. But he actually went from Arsenal to Spurs.
Yeah.
He went Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs. So you're Giroud. What would you do? I mean, the other.
How long was Kane out for?
I think it's going to be until March time.
So
But we could have someone else anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Why is he still playing 90 minutes every bloody week?
Yeah, I just think Giroud, it's a Euro year, isn't it? Giroud, if he went to Villa, he plays every single week and he will score goals, and it puts him in frame to get back in the France squad. I think.
Yes, but I mean, the other option is to stay at Chelsea.
Yeah, but he's not really playing, is he?
No.
Okay, one of Giroud or Batshuayi will go out on loan to someone in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They will go to a Premier League club.
The other name I mentioned, it flows nicely into a transfer, is Paco Alcacer from Dortmund.
Well said.
Was that? I honestly thought I'd absolutely hammed that right up.
Paco Alcacer, I think it is. Yeah.
Alcacer. Yeah, I thought that maybe that would be a potential transfer out because obviously Dortmund have signed Eric Haaland from Salzburg. Now
Erlinger Haaland.
Oh, yeah,
just anglicise his name, Eric. Yeah, that'll do.
Now, how do you reckon this has impacted Man United's chances of signing him in January?
Well, yeah, quite badly, I reckon.
Is it?
Oh no! I don't think. I think we might sign him in like 2 years' time now for like £40 million more than he's just moved for. But
to be fair, we're all a bit surprised at how low.
It was buyout clause, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was apparently he moved to Dortmund because, well, it depends who you believe, but we've said he moved to Dortmund because Raiola wanted too much money, and it was apparently 12 million that Raiola wanted for it to happen, which is very odd, according that he's not even his agent. But yeah, and Raiola turns around and says, well, everybody spoke to Haaland and he picked Dortmund for footballing reasons, which also makes sense. So.
Yeah, I've heard that obviously United were obviously very interested, but he didn't feel that a move to Man United was the best move for him at this time in his career, and I think a move to Dortmund is a really good step up for him. It's a step up. It's not too much step up. They've got young players. They've got a style of playing. They're in a good period at the moment. So yeah, I like the move. And I mean, I've always been surprised by the Man United link, to be honest with you, because obviously his dad is Alf-Inge Haaland of Man City fame.
Yeah, and him and Roy Keane. I was reading all about that actually in the car.
There's also the Roy Keane element. Roy Keane broke Alf-Inge Haaland in two.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if I was Erling Haaland, I'd have probably been brought up to not really like Man United that much.
Is it, or is it just don't like Roy Keane?
Well, he's got the Man City link, so he played for Man City for a bit.
Well, his actual career is mainly at Leeds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Alf-Inge Haaland.
That's for us in Leeds, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot, I guess you could say, about not moving to Man United. But at the end of the day, he probably just wants the best for his son in his career. So I think the Dortmund move it makes more sense. I mean, it was just it was just a whole annoying saga because Ollie obviously flew there to see him, and Ollie was given all these teasy little chats in his press conferences, like, oh, you know, his decision's made up and he'll make his mind up and he'll go what's right for his career. And it was all sort of teasing comments as if to say, well, yeah, he's coming. You only say those sort of things if you know he's coming, but you can't announce it because it's not January. And then it all blows up in his face and it's sort of like, oh, God, you're such an amateur. Yeah. I mean, I've never been more out, by the way, than I am right at this moment in time.
What was the bit? I don't know if you know this, but there's obviously some words spoken by Robin van Persie and
yeah, Van Persie was just upset that he was like smiling to the camera after they lost to Arsenal 2-0, which we'll get onto, and then Robin van Persie said on BT Sport, he was like, well, the problem Man United have is they've got the strikers, but they haven't got the midfielders that can pass them the ball well enough. And he was like, at training, Fergie just used to bollock Scholesy and Giggs and all the players they had behind Van Persie, said, you know, if you can't pass in the ball, I'm going to drop you because he's the man that's going to score us all our goals. And then Solskjaer responded with, you know, he's got no right to criticise me. The only thing he could take away from me is my shirt number at United, which was just a weird comment. But yeah.
Oh, that does sound a little bit like clutching at straws there.
Yeah.
Took my shirt number because I had it first. Oh, God.
Yeah.
There must have been there must have been ages between the two as
exactly,
well, like
yeah.
directly.
Exactly. So.
Okay. All right.
But
so talking of Ole out, there's Moyes in.
Moyes is in. Bloody hell. West Ham, and what a start.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, 4-0 win versus Bournemouth, who find themselves in the relegation zone where they fucking belong.
I mean, is it more just an insight into how much the players actually didn't want to play for Pellegrini? He couldn't have come in and just been like,
honestly,
this tactical genius.
Yeah, you want behind the scenes of all the stuff of this, or just inside their minds, like, finally, I can now play because I wasn't happy under Pellegrini because of the system. Because players are selfish; they all go, you know what, I'm getting played out of position here.
Yeah.
This isn't good for my career, so I'll do this, that, and the other, and I just and as soon as that enters your head, you're not 100%. As soon as you might go 100% into a challenge because of a spur of the moment thing, but your overall mentality preparing you to go into that game is not 100%. So you're not at it.
Yeah,
and it's fine margins in the Premier League, isn't it? Or any sport at all is fine margins. You can lose a game you're playing with your mate just because you're a little bit distracted or something. It's really fine margins.
Very true. And I was just thinking, like I just said, I can't imagine David Moyes went in there as a tactical genius and got them winning 4-0. But what I imagine he could have done is walk straight into the dressing room and be like, right, Roberto, fuck off. And everybody went, way!
Yeah.
So that may have improved the morale a little bit. But I just don't. I'm very surprised actually they went back for him. A corner.
Yeah, I mean straight back. Someone posed I can't remember who it was, posed a question on Twitter. It's like, has anyone else left a club and joined a club? Like, when was the last time someone got sacked from a club or left them and rejoined them with a period in between as a manager? It's like, because this is why I also posed a question to you, like, I'd be intrigued to see what a football manager's CV looks like, because as a CV you write it in jobs. So you have I worked a certain job between this year and this year, this year and that year, and then do football managers do it by seasons? Because does David Moyes just put West Ham from 2017 to present? Because he managed them in 17-18. He's now managed them in 19 and into 20. So he
also, do you think they
have to explain any gaps in the CV?
Well, I was going to say, do you think they put does he just leave off Sunderland off his CV and Real Sociedad and just been like, well, I went to Man United and it didn't work out. They were a big club. And then I moved to West Ham and kept them up. It's like there's nothing in between.
Signed a contract with Man United 2013 for 6 years. Then that's it. Yeah, nothing else happened after that.
Yeah, bloody hell. But no, fair play to him. I mean, turning up 4-0.
And to be honest with you, ever since leaving Everton, he's made horrific career choices. Right, you go to Man United following Fergie. You can't turn it down. You can't succeed.
But that's the problem. Yeah, you can succeed.
You're a Scottish manager who's managed Preston, Everton, and Man United. Don't go to Real Sociedad. I can tell you right now that wasn't going to work. All right, and then you come back to England and manage the absolute shit show that is Sunderland. Don't do that, because that's only going to disaster. And then you go to West Ham on this short-term temporary deal. It's like, you're really not giving yourself any chance there. This is probably the best career choice he's made, because the West Ham side he's got now is a lot better than the West Ham side he had a few years back.
Agree. Yeah.
And he's got a longer contract now, I think.
He's got 18 months, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's not. So I think this is the best job he's taken since Everton, and he's in the best position because he's got the expectation coupled with the quality of the squad is the best mix.
Yeah.
So I don't, as much as it seems naive and just lazy and cheap or whatever you want to throw at the West Ham board, I don't think it's bad, because he was so well regarded at Everton.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think anyone's come badly out of it. I can understand why West Ham have done it, and I can understand why David Moyes has gone there. I'm just very surprised by the whole. It's like, oh yeah, Pellegrini's on the verge of the sack. He's gone. Dave Moyes is going to replace him. That's the rumour. Dave Moyes is in. I'm just surprised it happened that quickly, and it was David Moyes. I just didn't see it happening. No. I was like, that's not going to work, surely. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it started well for him, yeah. 4-0. So.
It did, yeah. 100% win record. Well done. Well, apart from, yeah.
Anything else in the news for you?
Nothing else. I got the more decade elements. If you want to talk decade, unless you have any other news items you want to discuss.
No. Let's move on to chat decades.
All right. So we have obviously had our decade podcast every week, but I thought there was a question posed on social media around the worst 11 of the decade. Now we've narrowed this down, and I've tried to come up with the worst Spurs 11 of the decade, and Dave the worst Man United 11 of the decade. Dave, do you want to
Well, I think
hit me with your...
should we go through it? I'll tell you what. Why don't we go through it in positions? So goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, and then we'll decide if they were to play each other, who would lose to be the worst Man United or Tottenham team of the decade.
All right. Okay. So well, I'll head up with a manager. The manager of my one will be Tim Sherwood.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Oh, have you?
So okay. Caveats, because I don't know if we've had the same rules. So I've gone permanent managers only. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's temporary stint, where he actually won for like 3 months, doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. I thought you'd gone David Moyes, personally.
No, I think I would take 37 crosses in a game over. At least it's a plan. At least that's a plan. Ole doesn't have a plan. I'm not ranting about Ole in this episode. We'll do it after the next Premier League loss.
We won't cover your 0-0 draw to
0-0 draw to Wolves.
No shots on target.
Fucking abysmal.
That.
Yeah. So I'm going.
Did you get up and watch that?
No, hell no. I knew it was going to be terrible. Yeah, I think our worst manager of the decade is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in his permanent role. Quick stat for you that guided me to that fact. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's win percentage as Cardiff manager was 30%. His current win percentage as Man United permanent manager is 29.2.
Oh my.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I went for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Who did you go for? For yours?
Yeah, Tim Sherwood. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tactics Tim.
Gilet.
Yeah. Absolute bellend Tim Sherwood. And I mean, it shows. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not taking a. So he had Aston Villa after he managed us, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he had some weird role.
At Swindon, wasn't it? Did he have?
Yeah, Swindon, director of football, but then he was like on the bench sometimes and weird. And now he's probably just pimping himself out as a media
whore.
And actually getting things wrong. I see clips of him come on the socials every now and then. So yeah, clearly it wasn't meant for him. And well, I'll be interested to see what Ole does after his Man United stint, actually.
Go back to mould, probably.
Yeah,
they'll have him back, won't they? So
turn into mould. Okay,
turn into mould.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's tackle. I'll go through my right back.
Hang on, we're doing back fours. Have you got a back four?
Yeah.
Just do the whole back four then. Yeah, do the whole back four.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm struggling on right back because I've gone one of them. I've got two options of right back. I've either gone Serge Aurier or Carl Norton, and I don't know if it's recency bias, but I'm just so pissed off with Serge Aurier. But no, I'm going Serge Aurier. He can fuck right off.
Okay, I'm definitely. By the way, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was definitely recency bias to me as well, but I did have a stat to back it up. So
yeah. Well, Serge Aurier, I can more red. Probably had more red cards. Sending offs. Both those two together. Faults at goal, own goals, whatever he's done for. Oh, it's just horrific. At left back, I've gone for Kyle Norton because there's a time where we played Kyle Norton at left back.
Hang on, so your choice at right back was Aurier or Norton?
Yeah.
So if you had picked Norton, who was your back? Who was your other left back?
Zeki Friars.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
So I've got Serge Aurier, Carl Norton, Sebastian Bassong, and I've got a choice at. I'm going to go with Vlad Kirikez at centre back as well.
Okay. God, that is.
No, I'm changing it. I'm going Fazio at centre back, partner in Kirikez.
Okay.
Bassong had some good moments, but Fazio.
All right. So right back, I've gone for Varela. Guillaume Varela, David Moyes' first signing, played a couple of games in the league, yeah. Oh, and I've gone league appearance. They've had to make one league appearance.
Mm-hmm, okay.
Oh, we haven't done goalkeeper. we just went from manager to right back to back four. Okay, we'll do the back four. So Varela at right back, left back Cameron Borthwick-Jackson.
Oh, is he still at your club?
No, he's at he's dropped right down the divisions like Rochdale or something now. He never recovered. Well, I hope he might be. He might be at the club. Actually, let me have a little look. But he was one of the people that was thrust into first team action under Louis van Gaal. He plays for Tranmere Rovers on loan from Man United. There you go.
Oh,
so he's still technically part of the club. Yeah, he was one of the ones that under Louis van Gaal started the season okay and then played the MK Dons League Cup game. Or FA Cup game where we got smashed. Yeah. A number of the people that I've picked featured in that game. Yeah.
Is it like the players of England claps versus Australia?
Yeah. Yeah. Centre backs, I've gone with Paddy McNair because that's where he played for United, and Tyler Blackett.
Yes.
Who that back four? I think I'd rather have your Spurs back four. I think.
Yeah, I mean, you look at my back four. It's weird because Vlad Kirikes went on to play for Napoli. Fazio went to play on for Roma.
Yeah.
Sozorio is still there. Carl Norton, I think, mainly at Swansea. But Fazio and Kirikes. Fazio's a weird one because he actually did quite well for Roma. I think he played in the Roma's comeback against Barcelona, which is just like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so going back a step, goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, yeah. Who's solidifying that defence? Mine is the ever annoyingly amazing but also awful Aurelio Gomez.
Oh, I thought he was a bit of a club hero, wasn't he? Like with his gum shield.
Fuck. Not in my mind. Hated the guy.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah, I think out of goalkeepers, I've probably got the better goalkeeper, but I've picked him purely for his Man United time. Who would you have picked? I'm interested as Man United.
I thought you'd choose Lee Grant, to be honest with you.
He's not played in the Premier League, and that was one of my rules.
Oh.
He's only played in the League Cup.
It'll probably be like Kuszczak or Lindegaard.
No, I've gone with Victor Valdez.
Oh, yeah. It was a strange one, wasn't it?
Yeah, remember that? And then he moved from us to Middlesbrough and also didn't play at Middlesbrough, which says a lot about how much his career fell
It's like
off.
Barcelona, Man United, Middlesbrough. Oh, yeah, that's a fall from grace, isn't it?
Yeah. I went Victor Valdez, which in his heyday was a very good goalkeeper, but
well, yeah, he was the goalkeeper in one of the best club sides ever.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
And
he's going to be busy with a partnership of McNair and Blackett in front of him. So yeah. Mid what formation you playing?
So mine will be. Mine was going to be a flat 4-4-2 actually.
Oh, okay. I've got 4-2-3-1. So
okay.
Yeah. My two holding midfielders are Morgan Schneiderlin, which less said about that the better. And I've gone with Darren Gibson.
Darren Gibson, who really. In case you weren't aware how much of a tit he was, you just watched the Sunderland documentary and you realised that he's an absolute tool.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that was my holding midfielders.
So my central midfield is
midfield?
Benjamin Stambouli. I don't know. Did you even remember him?
Oh my god, he had big curly hair, didn't he?
He had some flowing locks, and he was a devilishly good looking man. I think we sold him on to Schalke.
Yeah, okay.
But my memory of him was that I think it was maybe against Watford or something. He just got caught out, and he was just so slow, just so slow. We sold him on to PSG, then to Schalke. He was far too immobile to play in midfield in the Premier League, and he went on his way. And partnering him is a player with a very odd transfer record post Spurs is Paulinho.
Oh. Okay, yeah. So where's he? He's gone to China, but did he go there via Barcelona?
So he went from us to China to Barcelona, back to China. Is how I vaguely remember this.
Bloody hell! Okay, that is weird.
Yeah,
and soon to be leaving China because they probably won't be able to afford his wage when his contract runs out. So. With the new regulations that are coming to Chinese football.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. So the three in front of those two, from on the right, Gabriel Obertan, light bulb head himself. On the left, Bebe. And through the middle, Tom Cleverley. I've gone for.
Oh yeah,
so
that's pretty good.
Who?
Yeah, well, I had a thought about your one, and I thought of a bit more higher profile one. So I put like Alexis Sanchez and.
He features. Yeah, he's my striker.
Okay.
So.
Okay. My wide men are George, Kevin, and Kudu, and David Bentley.
George, Kevin, and didn't he move to Burnley? George, Kevin.
He had a little loan spell at Burnley.
Loan,
yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, did play there.
David
Bentley. I mean, he scored a fantastic goal against Arsenal, ruined somewhat by the keeper getting a good hand to it. But he was just. I mean, I remember watching. Very strangely, I don't often watch it now. Soccer AM this season, and he was on there and he's good friends with Jimmy Bullard, and you can see why. Well, you can see on one hand why he made it, and one hand why he didn't sustain it. Because he made it because he's a talented footballer. He didn't sustain it because he is unprofessional.
Yeah.
Him and Jimmy Bullard run a program, and it's just like watching two probably 12, 13-year-olds mess around, and you just think that is not the mentality you need to be a Premier League footballer. And he fell out of love with the game because of lack of enjoyment. But I think it's you replace lack of enjoyment for regimented structure and want for your players to be professional. Like,
Yeah.
I remember there's a quote of him calling, shouting. I mean, he called up for England. He's shouting and calling Fabio Capello postman Pat or something. It's like, okay, that's funny, but you're also a dick.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you might think it, and you say it to your mates when you're back in your room and saying, "Doesn't Capello like postman Pat?" Everybody laughs. You don't say it to their face when you're one of your few England call-ups. It's just. Yeah, the mentality wasn't there, and the mentality wasn't there to play for Spurs. He was doing well for Blackburn, and I bet he regrets leaving Blackburn. But yeah, for us, he was just he tried too many flicks and tricks, and it just didn't come off.
I may be wrong. Did he play in Russia?
Yeah, but not even. It was like FC Rostov or something like that.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, it wasn't anyone actually any good. So
no.
Okay.
Yeah. On loan from us to, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else you got then? George, Kevin and Cooley, wasn't it? What's your strikers? Yeah, your strikers.
Strikers are so similar to Clinton, to George, Kevin and Kudu. Clinton and G. It's that time we tried to sign young wingers from France. Clinton and G, and also Vincent Janssen up top.
Oh, Vincent Janssen, yeah, it had to be Vincent. I thought
I did have Soldado.
Yeah,
I did have Soldado, but I was like, no, Janssen was worse.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And then I had Alexis Sanchez leading my line with an honourable mention to Falcao. And I had an honourable mention of Schweinsteiger in midfield as well, just because it was a bit disappointing.
It was. I mean, it's the wrong time for his career, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and he was half of the Schnein midfield, or whatever it's called, Schmidfield.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what do you reckon? Who's losing? Who's losing that? 4-4-2 via 4-2-3-1. I've gone modern with my tactics, but it does include Bebe and Obertan. So.
Yeah, I mean, your back four is inexperienced. My back four is experienced but prone to absolute clangers. Gomez clangers, Sergio Aurier clangers, Fazio clangers, Kiriges clangers. That is just asking for problems. And then in midfield, you've got no one can really do it. I mean, Nkudu's probably got like one goal for us. Bentley's got like one goal for us, and G probably got maybe assist for us. And I mean, there's no goals in my side. No, I'm losing this.
I don't know. I reckon even Vincent Janssen could score against McNair and Blackett.
Vincent Janssen, didn't he win the league now with Monterrey?
Did he? Bloody hell. Yeah. Well,
what a good decade, Dave?
Yeah, brilliant.
It was a good decade. It was a good decade for Spurs. It just you can very much cherry pick your worst 11s of a decade. So, listeners, your clubs, would you please comment, be it on Twitter or on YouTube, and let us know what your club's worst 11 of a decade. I mean, we can hopefully, if we get enough responses, compile some worst 11s of a decade and go, yeah, you are the winner. I imagine clubs, someone like Watford, right? If we have any Watford listeners there, I imagine you could name an 11 of a decade, and I wouldn't have heard of any of those players because there's such a churn of random foreigners in your club. But I'll be like, I have no idea what that is.
I was thinking that, and I think there could be I think Arsenal might have a decent one as well, because there'll be a number of like young French people who have played one game in the Premier League or something that you just forgot. And I think, who would be up front? Off the top of your head, who would be up front for Arsenal? Ali Alier?
Is that going to be this decade?
I think Ali Alier was this decade, yeah.
Yaya Sanogo.
Oh, Yaya. The shit Yaya Sanogo.
Definitely. Yeah, Sanogo promised so much to fans of Football Manager when he. Then
you're right. He left Arsenal. Yeah, he left Arsenal in 2007. Yeah, Jeremy Alialier. Thought he was still there.
And then he had a period out of the game, and then he come back for Middlesbrough.
No, Middlesbrough signed him from Arsenal.
I mean, he definitely had a period out of the game and came back.
Yeah, he had a year out after Middlesbrough. There was no 2010 to 2011 season. It just goes 2007 to 2010 and then 2011 to 2014. Where he signed for Lorient. Lorient, just a good name. Retired now.
Good work.
With an absolutely dreadful career.
Yeah, and a triple haircut.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
let's move on. We'll move on to the quiz. You ready, Dave?
I'm always ready to smash your quizzes.
Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. It's quizzing time, and sticking to the decade theme, I just popped up and thought, oh, Dave will give this a go. So, covering the top 10 leagues, all competitions, I want you to name me the top goal scorers of the decade.
Oh my god! In what? The top.
So covering the top 10 leagues, so covering your Germany, Spain's, England's, just basically the best goal scorers, but not. This isn't the top. This isn't like you got some.
So what are the top 10 leagues? So
Well,
Premier League, Spain.
So we've got Spain,
Germany,
Italy,
yeah.
Germany,
England, France,
Holland.
I'm never going to get that.
No, because it's not the scorer in that league. It's players who've played in those leagues.
Oh my god! What the top 10 goal scorers
of the decade
that have played in the top 10 leagues? Okay. Oh right, got ya. Okay.
Yeah. So but the top two.
Aguero. Well, Ronaldo and Messi.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's the top two. Yeah. But Aguero's in there at number 6. Yes.
Ronaldo, Messi is 1 and 2. 6 is Aguero. Lewandowski
is 3. Well done.
Robin van Persie.
Van Persie's not there, but I'll just give you a bit of. So, top of the list, the greatest player of all time with 522 goals.
Cristiano
Messi.
Ronaldo, yeah.
Is second, 50 goals behind him at 477. 150 goals behind them is Lewandowski.
Bloody hell.
324. Yeah. And Aguero is 6th with 280. So, yeah. All right. Well, you got your Van Persie not in there.
Okay.
You got to think weight of numbers as well. We've been around for a good stint.
This is harder than I think it should be. Didier Drogba,
I think only scored 20 goals for Chelsea in this decade.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So
terrible with the overlaps. That's my problem.
All of them are still playing, by the way. Okay. I'll give you the
okay. All of them are still playing. Okay. Is Harry Kane in there?
He's not, unfortunately.
No. I guess Fernando Torres.
No. Is he still playing, Dave?
Yeah, he's out in China, isn't he? Or is he retired?
Well, he just retired.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't pay attention when they leave the big leagues.
Covered it on the podcast.
Oh, did we? Oh, yeah. I knew that. I was just testing you. Thomas Muller.
Not in the list.
Oh, for God's sake. Falcao. No, he won't.
Falcao, not on the list.
Yeah.
You one more to get halfway, then we'll do a little sideline quiz, which I'm going to give you.
This shouldn't be so hard, should it?
No, it shouldn't, Dave.
Mandzukic.
Nope, Dave.
Can I have a clue?
Yes, you can have a clue. This player. Okay, I'll give you a clue to number 4. Right. This player, I think, is set to move clubs in the summer to Spain as his contract ends in France.
Oh my god. Mbappe? No. That's
no. This is. I think it's
yeah. He's set to move to Spain when his contract expires in France.
Actually, I'll give you number 7. Right, number 7. This is the news here is that after I think there was a toilet seat put around his neck, then it put around his arm. He had his nose sawn off. It was defaced, and now he's been chopped off completely.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
And that was in reference to his statue in Sweden,
Yes.
which he didn't think the Mold fans would be too upset about him having a stake in Hammarby. Turns out they're fuming.
Yeah. Is Wayne Rooney in that list?
Wayne Rooney's not on that list. So you've got 5 there. You've got 5 remaining. But then there's also a little side quiz. Now, I don't expect you to get all of these, but I reckon you throw a few names out there to begin with. The most red cards of a decade.
Joey Barton.
No.
Lee Cattermole.
No. This is all leagues. The same.
Serge Aurier.
Oh no. But who? Come on, who you think you got? You'll get. He's strangely number 2. This guy scores goals, gets sent off, and is a centre
Diego
back.
Costa. Oh, okay. Diego Costa must be in that list somewhere.
You know, Diego Costa's not on that list.
He's
Amazing.
scores goals and he's a centre back.
Yeah, like probably the most prolific centre back.
Oh,
of all
Sergio
time.
Ramos.
Sergio
Yeah.
Ramos, 15 red cards in the decade.
15. Jesus Christ.
But he's not first. There's a Charles Cabore who's played for Marseille and in Russia has got 16. And to be honest with you, I don't really know him.
yeah. I don't know.
Probably because he's never playing. He's just getting sent off.
Yeah, but I also don't know the 4th and 5th highest goal scorers of the decade. So,
No, you don't.
yeah,
No.
I'm really struggling.
They're both the same nationality, actually, though.
Oh, great. One of them, is he French or Spanish if he's moving to France or Spain?
Or he's neither. And he just plays for a French club.
Oh, that doesn't help. Who scored loads of goals? Come on, Dave. That
I think
isn't
it
in
must
the Premier
be-
League.
Maybe is he their record goal scorer of all time, or has Ibrahimovic got it?
Oh, so he's Swedish. Cheers.
No, a club
The club.
record goal scorer of all time, or is Ibrahimovic their record
Neymar.
club goal scorer of all time? Neymar isn't. Oh, do you know what? Strangely, Neymar's not on the list.
Oh, I suppose he hasn't really played in France. Has he? He's always bloody injured, shagging his sister.
Whoa, Carl!
You can't.
Cruz come out when Dave's flailing around in this quiz.
Yeah. We can't be
Right.
sued for that. It's a fictional world. It's like the offensive podcast.
Okay, right.
Right.
We will move on to a brief review of any games we're just going to cherry pick from the last week. So, Dave's already mentioned it. Let's talk about Manchester United and Arsenal. Arteta's
Don't be too happy because it's Arsenal that
Arteta.
won.
Oh, the Arteta impact. He has got those players working far too hard for their bodies.
Yeah, he really has. Yeah, they fell apart,
They
didn't they, in
were
the
dropping
last
like flies,
against
weren't
Chelsea
they?
and then against United. And even right, this is what really. I said I'm not going to have an Ole rant, but I'm going to have a little one. Right, this is what really annoys me. Arteta's been there for what, like 2 weeks, and he's got them set up in a system, playing in a certain way of how they want to play. Ole's been here for over a year now, and we don't have. There is no distinct style other than just we're just going to wait and counter attack. Well, no, fucking do something.
And Arteta hasn't even been a manager before.
Yeah, exactly. And he's come in with his stupid Lego haircut and beaten us. They deserved it as well. We were terrible. So
Oh god, yeah, they definitely deserved it, but I don't know how sustainable that is. You're not going to get Aubameyang,
No.
Ozil, Torreira running that amount of.
it's not sustainable. But what it does allow him to do is see in people in that squad he's currently got who can stay with his style of play, who he can just get rid of, who he keeps, who he tries to move on and things like that. So I respect that. It's just he might not have any players left after like 6 weeks. So
What on earth happened with Rashford in that match? Because Rashford's been in a really good run of form, and I only realised he was playing in the 80th minute.
I don't have an answer for you. He was
See,
just...
I did know he was playing because his audacious free kick attempt was Fred.
Now,
Fred really.
Fred had a decent, all right game other than that free kick.
But the thing is, why was he taking it? Why wasn't Rashford taking that?
Because Rashford isn't actually very good at free kicks. He actually isn't very good at free kicks, other than the blooter he scored against Chelsea. And
No,
Fred,
normally he's got a decent strike on him and can often get him on target, just working the goalkeeper. But Fred, have you seen Fred?
yeah, Fred is
do it-
normally a good free kick taker. He actually normally is a good free kick taker, but that was absolutely. It's one of the worst free kicks I've seen. I think
Yeah,
it went
bad.
so high.
It did go high.
It was just ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, Arsenal deserved the win. They played very well.
They were on the back of back of a loss against Chelsea after they'd gone a goal up at half time. They were on a run of their worst home run in 60 years, I think it was.
Yeah.
Then along come United.
Yeah, and they showed Ollie up as the fraud that he is.
Yeah, and it was just amazing for me that there's a bit where Ozil was chasing the ball down, won it back on a kind of counter attack, and played the ball through. But I think Lacazette wasn't running through because he must have thought, Ozil's not going to be. Ozil's got it. Oh, I know I'm not running. Okay, well, it's because he wouldn't expect it from Ozil. And I mean, I've always been a fan of Ozil. Imagine if I supported the club that he played for, I'd be less of a fan because I see the highlights and the good things. I don't concern myself with the fact he doesn't track back. But it's such a lovely player to watch. much. I mean, do you know what that actually just reminded me of? Him tracking down the wing there reminded me of the 5-1 Germany-England, where he goes down the line there, and I think he does Gareth Barry on the wing there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd forgotten that game, apart from when Ozil outpaced Gareth Barry, and everyone was like, wow, Gareth Barry is really slow. It wasn't look how quick Ozil is. Yeah, it was Gareth Barry is really slow. But yeah, he's a fantastic player. But let's move on to another game, please.
Okay. Well, I've already covered the West Ham Bournemouth match, but I wanted to cover a bit more Bournemouth, because I just want to quickly mention Bournemouth's next 4 games.
Yeah.
So Bournemouth play Watford, Norwich, Brighton, and Villa.
That is tense.
That is make or break.
Yeah. Do you reckon if Villa beat them, do you reckon that's Eddie Howe gone?
I think if they don't, I mean, if they're still in relegation zone after that, I'd say panic stations.
Yeah.
And you never want to see a manager sacked.
You do. You want to see Eddie Howe sacked. Don't say you don't want to see him.
No, I don't want to see him sacked. But he can keep his Bournemouth job for eternity. But I just don't think. I think that by doing so, Bournemouth will be in the Championship with him. So if I want to see him sacked, then Bournemouth. Well, we're probably going to go. I don't think they're going to avoid the Championship. And I realised that we'll touch on this in our pre-season predictions. But didn't I predict them last year to have a really bad season?
I think you did. Yeah, I think you did.
I called them a surprise package, and the surprise would be really rubbish. Yeah. So maybe I'm just a bit more common wise, and my predictions probably a year in arrears.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I mean, they're just bad. They just buy bad players, and I think what's opened my eyes to Eddie Howe is that the fact that he bought Lys Mousset, couldn't get him playing, and then he moved to Sheffield United, and as immediate as he played well. Yeah. And that sort of is like, well, that's down to the man. That is purely manager. That is like coaching and managing a player. But yeah, it's very. But
well done to Bournemouth yesterday, beating Luton Town 4-0, and Dominic Solanke.
He did scored his first goal.
Finding his level.
Yeah.
Because Luton are a Championship side, and he's found his level, and he got his first goal for like 2 years. And what a shit goal it was as well.
I will admit I haven't seen the goal, so
it is. It's just.
Sorry.
He's so embarrassed when he goes in, but he's got a massive grin on his face because he's actually finally happy that he actually did something useful as a striker.
Aww.
But maybe that'll give them some confidence going into their forthcoming matches, or maybe they're just injuries have taken their toll. And because I mean, they played a reasonably good side yesterday. They played.
Yeah, they had Callum Wilson, Solanke.
Billing's been playing each week. Fraser has been in and out, but Rico's been playing, and so it's a bit of a kind of half and half side, but be interesting. Yeah. All right. Another game I wanted to cover was we've touched on their title credentials, and it's Liverpool versus Sheffield United. It's Liverpool went a year unbeaten in the league, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a whole year. It is quite frankly ludicrous.
And I feel bitter saying this, but I'm actually bored.
What?
I'm bored of them. I'm bored of them.
What do you mean you're bored of them?
Like when City were doing it, it was somewhat exciting because it's like, oh my goodness, they're winning like 5 and 6-0. Their football they're playing was out of this world. I just don't feel any enjoyment from watching Liverpool play. I enjoy watching Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson.
I still think they play good football. I still think they're playing good football.
No, they don't play bad football. They don't play. I know it's probably been one of the worst. And you look over the last 2-3 years, I think there's probably been a downgrade in the quality of football. Like 2 years ago, they were playing this ridiculous football, weren't they? Last year they cut that kind of gung ho down and they became more effective. Now they've just gone. They're ruthlessly effective, and it's obviously that's fantastic for Liverpool fans because they get to even win a league. But I don't know. I just feel like it's just not quite as enjoyable as I'd like. To have a team playing fantastic football and winning the league it would be amazing. But it is just ruthlessly effective.
It's ruthlessly effective, but I think I still think they're playing good football, and they're just if it's hard because it's with sort of hindsight, but if Man City hadn't have existed and won the league the way they've won the leagues, this would be seen as revolutionary football. How Liverpool are winning the league this year, and I think they're just in a bad position where Man City have done something slightly similar. But I, as much as it pains me to say it, I enjoy watching Liverpool play. They're ruthless, but they play good football, and I think they are deserving to win the league, and they're better than everybody else. You can argue it's been a terrible season, but I mean, yeah, it's just really annoying that it's Liverpool.
Yeah, I suppose maybe I am being bitter, but I don't know. It's the fact that it's all come. I mean, so much.
I don't understand how you say you're bored of them. That's what I don't understand. I don't
find it. I don't find the football they play exciting in the slightest.
But you said you get excited by Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they play with getting
watching
their
him
fullbacks
as an individual to play, but at the same time, like, it seems so antiquated, like getting your fullback to cross balls in. I know they're great crosses, no, but it just doesn't. It just seems regressive as a footballing method rather than progressive. I don't know.
It's evolution, isn't it? They've gone back to exploit something that people don't think happens anymore. So no one's worried about fullbacks crossing, and now they do it so well that people can't stop it. And it's just another way of looking at tactics.
Yeah,
playing out from the back is something that Pep sort of brought in his time in Germany, and then moved it, or in Barcelona, moved it to Germany, moved it to the English Premier League, and we weren't really ready for that. Everything was go long, wasn't it? And it was like you want to get the ball forward as quickly as possible, but this was a slow build up, and it was sort of like that was not antiquated, but it was very different. And I just think this is a tactic that they've gone with that no one expected to sort of happen, and I think I don't think it's worked. It obviously has worked, but yeah, so I don't understand. I don't know. Commenters, Josh and I don't very regularly disagree on things, so people that are listening and get in the comment section and stuff, is the way Liverpool play boring? Are you bored by it? Are you like Josh and you're bored by it, like me and you're sort of like it's just an evolution of tactics? Let us know. Sorry, Josh, I sort of went on a bit of a ramble and took over.
That's right, and it's just, I mean, all credit to them. I mean, they haven't lost at home in the Premier League since April 2017 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, their loss in the last 18 months was that obviously it was involved that millimetre decision goal line clearance with Stones.
Yeah.
So it's almightily impressive, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being greedy and I want more. All right. I suppose I should have a little talk about Spurs.
Yeah, you should.
And honestly, I'm at a low again. This is just the performance against Southampton. It was just absolutely abysmal. And Dombele going off injured. It was starting to show a little bit of promise. You have Harry Kane going off injured. You have just a lack of, like, Southampton aren't a better side than the Spurs, but what they were better at was just running and wanting it, and just that mentality. And we most spoke about West Ham and not been mentally at it. It seems like the Spurs, there's something rotten in that Spurs side, or it's just it can't be Jose Mourinho. It's exactly the same thing that was happening under Pochettino, and it's a bit funny, but when you listen to, and obviously I'm more tuned into it than being Spurs, but you listen to commentators speak, and they don't speak about a season now. They speak about under Mourinho, like, oh, it's another poor away performance under Mourinho. No, it's another poor away performance from Spurs over the last year.
Yeah.
It's not just a Jose Mourinho issue. I mean, what is surprising, since Mourinho took over, Spurs have conceded the most goals in the Premier League out of anybody.
Really? That is.
Yeah.
That is. Well, yeah, I wouldn't expect that, but wow. Okay.
But
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just really, really turgid. And do you know what I said to myself after the match? You know what? I'm not going to, because often I make an effort to watch Spurs. I'll take time, as you do with Man United. For this month, for January, I'm not going to watch them live. I'm going to let the results happen, and I'll catch up on highlights afterwards if need be. But I'm not going to watch them live because it's just doing nothing for my mental health. I'm just going to give it a month.
Is that your version of dry January? You're giving up.
My dry January.
Watching Spurs live.
On Spurs. I'm not going to do it, and just let it go. So obviously we play. I mean, I don't know. Is it Spurs on BBC today on in the FA Cup? That might throw that completely out of
Yeah, I
whack.
don't know, they might
But
be actually. Yeah.
with the 2:01 kickoffs as well, aren't there?
Yeah. For
Yeah,
mental health, isn't it? Yeah. The
yeah,
for the
it's very
extra
good.
minute. It's very good. Yeah.
Love that.
So.
But yeah, I'm not happy with Spurs. I will be interested. Hope this obviously podcast will turn into a bit of transfer gossip as we go through this next month, which I'm very excited about because I love transfers, my favourite element of the game. Just on the BBC website, Man United to offer 45 million plus
Yeah.
Lingard for Leicester. Leicester's management is like, can we just have a 45 million,
I was
please?
gonna say, yeah, can we just call it 40 million and that's quits.
Can you call it 50 million actually?
Yeah, it's ridiculous gossip that. So, but yeah. Any other games that you wanted to touch on?
Well, I know. I just quickly touch on the FA Cup yesterday. We have see Man United Wolves. Do you want to mention anything about that? Obviously,
It was just
turgid 0-0.
absolutely dreadful. Yeah, absolutely. Romero made a really good save to keep us in it from Raul Jimenez.
You're not very good at. He had a very good. Was that from a corner?
Yeah.
You're not very good at corner from.
No, do you know why? Because
Yeah.
we're doing zonal marking. Like we have, like, you know, Rafa Benitez did like a mix of zonal marking and man marking. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
Like we do that, but really poorly. So it just doesn't work. So like we have all of our defenders like zonal marking in a line on the 6-yard box. If you watch it, this is what happens. You have all your defenders in zonal marking on the 6-yard box, and then you have Fred and Pereira picking up their like tallest players, and it just doesn't.
Sounds good.
So even if Fred and Pereira match that run, which they probably won't because that's not what their prime job is in a football pitch, is it? It's not to defend in the air, tracking runs and things like that. They will get out jumped because they're marking someone much taller than them, and if that really tall player is then on is running against Harry Maguire, who's having a standing still jump, he's obviously going to win it because Harry Maguire can't get off the ground, and it's like, wow, brilliant. So yeah, we're terrible at corners, absolutely terrible at corners. I hate it. It's all management. It's all just don't.
I follow on Twitter. There's these guys. I think it's under StatsBomb. These guys have previously worked at Brentford, and they do lots of data analysis, and they also do specific set piece analysis, and they will farm themselves out to clubs if they want. And you think, I wish I could just contact Spurs and go, pay the. It'd be tens of thousands of pounds or something. Just pay them. Just get your set pieces set up and just move on, because stopping a goal every other game or getting a goal every other game from a set piece immediately changes the whole facing. And I can't understand. Mourinho's never been a good one from set pieces. Like, why on earth aren't you just getting this done, getting all the advantage you can get, and just sort your set pieces out? It frustrates the hell out of me.
I agree. I massively agree. I cannot argue with any part of that. I find it incredibly annoying that teams can't just sort out set pieces.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous, but yeah.
Okay. Well, in the FA Cup also, obviously, a couple of the lower sides have gone out already. Brighton and Villa are already out. Obviously, United and Wolves replay, and then a number of games today. We have an interesting one for people from back home in Kent. Obviously, Gillingham play West Ham, which will be an interesting matchup. There's obviously the Merseyside derby, Liverpool-Everton. Spurs obviously away at Middlesbrough, Chelsea, Notts Forest. But yeah, a few good games there. But magic of the cup isn't with me at the moment. I'm not quite sure why. But
no, I think the magic of the cup is much easier when your team's doing well in the league. Because I just looking at the FA Cup now, and I'm like, I want Man United to win it, but my God, it looks like a distraction. I don't want my players playing in the FA Cup. I want them to be fit to play in the league and get up the league system and being. Maybe it would have been different if the league was still like we were in 6th or 7th and off top 4, but with it now we're so close to top 4, it's sort of like, let's just focus on the league. But we now get another game we've got to play, and do that against Wolves, and Wolves don't want that game either.
No, Wolves have had a lot of games this season already with the Europa League run, so no, it's an unwanted game. All right, we'll move on from the FA Cup, and we'll go to. You know what time it is, Dave?
I got a Wikifile. Here comes a Wikifile. I got a Wikifile for you. Hey! Right, now Josh was bragging at the beginning, weren't you, Josh?
Bragging all over shop. Bragging.
You've got a really, really good one. So here it is. Youth. Oh my god. Does he pass the?
He does.
Okay, I'll let you off then. Youth career. He started in 1994 to 2001. He played for Sparta Gurdurath. Yeah. Sparta Gurdurath. In 2001-2004, he moved in his youth career to Borussia Mönchengladbach, so he probably thought, oh yeah, I'm going to a bigger team. And then in 2004-2007, thought, no thanks, and moved to Alminia Aachen. And that was just his youth career. His senior career...
Could make his mind up.
Yeah. His senior career was then started with Alminia Aachen in 2007-2009, 33 appearances, 8 goals. That got him a move to Schalke, which sounds like a big step up, 2009 to 2013, where he also then from there, he scored 55... no, he didn't. He scored 10 in 55 appearances over 4 years. But he had loans at VfL Bochum, 2 goals in 14 appearances. He had a loan...
the accent, Dave.
Thanks. At Mainz 05, I'll just bastardise that one.
Yeah,
4 goals in 30 appearances, which got him a move to Tottenham. Okay. 25 appearances and 1 goal. He also went on loan to Fulham. He actually wasn't... So it's 1 season at Tottenham where he played 25 times. Then he went on loan to Fulham for...
Well, it's spread across a couple. I think we signed him in January, and then he played a bit of the next season as well.
Okay. And then...
Fun fact, I think his goal for Spurs was against Fulham.
Oh, right. And then he joined Fulham and scored 1 goal for them in 13 appearances, which got him a loan move to Hamburg, back in Germany. 22 appearances, 0 goals, which then got him a permanent move to Hamburg. Not too sure. That must have been prearranged. 105 appearances, 14 goals. And he's currently playing for Blackburn.
That is where it became interesting for me. I was like, what? I was going to put it in the news. The other week. I was like, did you know this player was playing for Blackburn? I was like, nope.
Oh, is it very similar to Sigurdsson? Lewis Holtby.
It's Lewis Holtby, yes.
Yeah. Spurs and Fulham, yeah. He's signed for Blackburn. No, I didn't know that. Yeah. Bloody hell.
Blackburn.
I always liked the look of him, but he was...
You know what? He wasn't a bad player. He ran around a bit like a headless chicken, to be honest with you, but he was decent, yeah. And it was in that time where we were a very high press inside. I think it must have been, was it AVB time?
Right.
But it didn't quite work out for him. He kind of lacked ability, but he ran around a lot. And I think there's a bit. The favourite bit was that in the Ledley King testimonial match, Howard Webb picked up the ball and started dribbling it, and Lewis Holtby just absolutely sieves him down. That was my fond memory of Lewis Holtby.
Amazing.
Any memories for you?
Not really. I think I remember him wanting to do well, because wasn't he he was a German national but had a very English name.
Yeah,
it didn't really make sense.
You know what? When I was looking at him, I was thinking, I could have sworn there was some US in him, some American in him, but he was 3 caps with German national side. Played under 21s, 24 appearances, 14 goals. So he did well at under 21.
Yeah, bloody hell.
But yeah, no, he's
Lewis
now up in Lancashire playing under Tony Mowbray for Blackburn Rovers. Which,
yeah.
Who else do I have of note? They have
Danny Graham.
Nobody. They don't have anyone of note.
No, but okay, cool, excellent, nice.
Right,
I like that one.
We'll move on from Wikifiles and we'll go on to our pre-season predictions review, shall we, Dave?
Yeah. Oh God, I hope you've got the predictions there. I haven't even looked at.
I've
how
got
bad
predictions
they've gone.
here. And so let's start off with what we thought the top 4 would be. So we agreed on this front, actually. We thought it would be Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham and Man United.
Oh, wow.
Now, 2 of them aren't in the top 4 at the moment.
Yeah.
And they're our clubs. So maybe we were just being a little bit hopeful.
Yeah. I mean...
and obviously neither of us called Liverpool running away with the title at this point in time. But it's only halfway, Dave. If they both have each other's second half of seasons, it can be a draw. So
okay, so we've messed up top four.
Messed up top four. Right,
Well,
how low do you want to go?
technically, we're 50% with teams in the top four. We've just massively messed up the order of the top four.
Yeah, I mean, go next club down. I thought that in fifth place would be Arsenal.
What did I say? Wolves? No, Chelsea.
No, Chelsea. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's not too bad.
So we both had the same top six. You just switched Arsenal and Chelsea around.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've only got for me the rest of the table. I haven't got yours in front of me. I had Everton in seventh, Leicester in eighth. So that's a big one out. And I had West Ham mid-table with Wolves mid-table because I thought Wolves were going to struggle a bit because of their Europa League exploits. I mean, I also had Watford in 11th, which you never know. Pearson working his magic may come true. Southampton and Palace. So I'll go down to the kind of the bottom three. I thought it was going to be Sheffield United, Norwich, and Brighton. And Sheffield United aren't quite playing out like that. Norwich are very much playing like that, and Brighton are doing their best to avoid that.
Yeah.
Your bottom three were Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Sheffield United. So none of them are really flirting
Crystal
with
Palace are in
relegation.
ninth, Sheffield are in 8th. Oh, bloody hell.
Just add 10 to it and you get about all right, don't you?
Yeah,
80
yeah.
to 90.
Oh, man.
All right, so not going according to plan. Champions League winner, obviously still lots to play for there because we've just only had the last 16 drawn. So, but Dave and I both have picked Man City to be the winners, which would be not unlikely, since though that's about at the moment might feel like all that Man City can play for.
Yeah, league's gone, so focus on the Champions League.
Yeah. Surprise package we both had. Do you remember this? I'm sure you do remember this, Dave.
We both said Southampton in a positive way, didn't we?
Yeah, and do you know what?
I think we are alright at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at where it is now, they're 12th.
Yeah.
I mean, I predicted them to be in 12th, so God, I'm bloody good, aren't I? And I think they're on the up. I mean, aside above them are also on the up. I say Everton will be on the up, Arsenal should be on the up, but there's Palace, Sheffield United, who could all come tumbling down a bit. So yeah, I think it's going all right for Southampton at the moment.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean, it's been tumultuous in the last kind of like few weeks, sorts of from like probably 1 point in 6 to now like 20 points in 6, whatever it is. But yeah, okay. First manager to be sacked. We obviously have this as an outcome of this already. The actual manager was obviously Quique Sanchez Flores. I picked Dean Smith, who I think could still face for sack, and you picked. Do you remember who you picked? It was hand in hand with your relegation prediction.
Roy Hodgson, I think.
But
Hodgson. I think I said he wouldn't be sacked; he would just leave, and you said that was acceptable to also put in. But it doesn't matter. I'm really wrong. So
yeah, really wrong.
Really, really wrong.
All right, we'll move on to Golden Boot, and my Golden Boot choice is never going to win it. I'm not sure he'll ever win it again in his career. It's Harry Kane.
Who never win it again in his career?
I don't think he's going to win the Golden Boot again, no.
Do you think that's him done then? Do you think?
I think he's just going to be a decent striker. He'll break records because of all the hard work he's done now, but I don't see him. I think he'll break the England record because we play against a lot of average sides and he'll be the main man because he'll still be okay. But man, the guy has so many periods without injury. He doesn't look like the same player. He got a lot less productive in the last few years. I think we've seen the end of the really prolific Harry Kane, if I'm honest.
Wow, okay, bold statement.
And you picked Sergio Aguero, but obviously leading the line at the moment is Jamie Vardy because he's having a party.
Still partying. He's still doing well.
He is still partying.
It's Jamie Vardy.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, Harry Kane spending 2 months out injuries. I don't think it would be amazing if he was to get back on top of this chart. Sergio Aguero could obviously still get there, but Jamie Vardy has probably got a few goals head start, and obviously no European or international football, and Leicester still flying. So it would be silly to look beyond Jamie Vardy at the moment, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think you're right. Nothing else to add to that from me.
And the last one we were predicting was Europa League winner, and we both predicted the same. And they're going alright in the competition, but could Ole manage it? It's United to win the Europa League. How do you feel about that now, Dave?
No, we're not going to win it.
No.
Who
Who do you have next in? Who are you facing? Someone rubbish, won't it?
That's a very good question. Who are we facing? I should know this, being a Man United fan.
Yeah, I reckon so.
I got up, didn't I, to watch the Astana game, and I think that put me off ever caring about anything ever again.
Is it Bruges? Club Bruges?
Club Bruges, yeah, that sounds... Yeah, Club Bruges, yeah. It is Club Bruges. Yeah, on the 20th of February. So...
Yeah, but I think it's just more about when you get down to the business end of it. I don't think, I'll be surprised if Ole's got that in his locker.
I think Ole might not be in the job.
Oh, I do believe we've been talking throughout the season. You don't think he's ever going to get a sack?
Yeah. Well, I may be more wishing now. Monday the 20th may be the day he gets his... in January. Monday the 20th of January may be the day he gets his P...
Let's have a look at what's going on then.
Well, our next game is Man United Man City in the EFL Cup semi-final. Then we've got Norwich at home, so if he doesn't win that, that's going to be a nightmare. Then we've got Wolves replay, and then after the Wolves replay on the 19th of January, we play Liverpool. And if he gets a spanking by Liverpool, that's what got Mourinho the sack.
Yeah, okay.
And the clock is ticking to get Pochettino.
Oh God, I forgot he was available.
So,
oh no.
I think it's... Well, I don't know. I think... Or there's some dastardly plan in the background about... Like, if Pochettino gets employed by a Premier League club this season, then he has to give back all his compensation or something. So Ed Woodward might have already chatted to Pochettino and said, look, we're just going to give Ollie the rest of the season and then we'll push him out the door because he's going to do shit, and then we'll just bring you in when your contract thing is expired.
Interesting. No, I
again, that's what I hope.
I'd obviously hate to see Pochettino there, but it would be the best appointment you could make.
Definitely.
All right,
definitely.
Let's move back to the quiz. I challenged Dave to name the top 10 goal scorers of the decade, and this was covering all major European leagues. Dave has successfully named 5 of those players. He's named Messi, Ronaldo, Lewandowski, Sergio Aguero and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Dave, how have you got on with the remaining 5?
Really, really badly. I have no.
All right,
names
let
written
me
down.
help you out.
I need clues.
So I said that 4th and 5th were the same nationality.
Yeah.
And number 4 is currently playing in France and is set to move to Spain in the end of the season. And he might be, or I can't confirm this, might be his current club's top goal scorer.
Edison Cavani.
Edison Cavani.
Yeah.
Therefore, who is number 5? His fellow countryman.
Suarez.
Luis Suarez. There we go, Dave.
Oh, how did I not get that? Bloody hell.
I don't know how you can get that. And so we go down now. We've just got 8, 9 and 10 to...
Yeah.
And so I'll go for 9 and 10 first. Actually, there's 2 players on this list who have been one club men for this whole decade. Messi and number 10. And number 10 is... Well, yeah, both played in Spain.
Must be.
They've been one club man for this decade. Doesn't mean he's been a one club man for his career.
Yeah.
For this decade, he's been a one club man.
Is it? It must be someone from Madrid.
Yes.
Benzema.
Benzema, yes.
Yeah.
And number 9 partnered him in Madrid for a while, but has also been around the block. He has been to 4 other clubs. They enjoyed Christmas, eating all that food.
That doesn't help me.
Spoiler alert: he's been called fat for a little bit.
He's been called fat. But
Currently playing.
Still
played
playing.
in England last year. But mainly been playing in Italy since then. Was the top goal scorer in Italy for a season when he was managed by, I want to say, Ancelotti.
Oh my god, who the hell is this?
Played up front with Benzema at Real Madrid. Moved to Italy and played for 3 Italian clubs. Moved to England and scored some good goals, but not a lot of goals. And now moved back to Italy again.
I literally have no one ringing the bell in my head.
Is an Argentinian striker whose first name is Gonzalo.
Oh, Higuain. Fucking hell. Do you know what? I completely blanked that he had played for Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah. When he was at Madrid, he was I liked him in Madrid when he was a bit athletic. And the last one is currently playing the Premier League, but has been a bit of a journeyman before that. He He's also played for AC Milan, where he was a bit of a youth player at AC Milan, and I don't think many people thought he was going to be the success he was now. Played in France and Germany, and Arsenal signed him from Borussia Dortmund.
Arsenal signed him from Borussia Dortmund. That's Aubameyang.
Aubameyang, yes, Aubameyang is 8th on the list. So some good strikers. I mean, yeah, it's as you'd expect with those strikers there on the list, and you feel sorry for the players who span decades in these lists because they're not getting a mention at all, are they?
yeah. So that is, I just wouldn't have expected Aubameyang to be up there.
Scored a lot of goals over his career. Well, every club he's gone to, he's 241 in a decade actually. Yeah.
Bloody hell, that is good. He's done well. Someone should tell him.
He's still doing well, isn't he? And it'd be interesting to see if Arsenal can keep hold of him. I would imagine they might do an Ozil and offer him stupid wage to stay, and then he'll just stop trying.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he strikes him as a player that just stopped trying.
I mean, he had a very poor disciplinary record at the end of his Dortmund career, didn't he? Where he just
it's more the fact that how much longer has he got that pace?
And it's gone a bit. It's not been. He's not blowing everybody away. He's still got a decent turn of pace, but yeah, it's fair. His goals in the Premier League haven't been pace driven. He just is in the right place at the right time. Strangely, isn't it?
Yeah, he does seem to have a natural knack of being in the right position. So but yeah,
all right,
cool, good quiz, Joshua.
Oh, yeah. You got there in the end with some hints and tips, didn't you?
Yeah, that means I failed, though. That means I failed.
So, yes, that does. All right. Well, I think unless you have any other business, Dave, that brings an end to this week's podcast.
No, I'm good. I'm done. Good times.
Brings an end to the FA Cup week, where we've fully in-depth covered the FA Cup, obviously. And obviously, if you listen to it today, you can listen to it while watching the FA Cup, just to make you feel like you're getting some FA Cup exposure. But if not, you can go onto YouTube and check out our previous podcasts, and there's all 76 of our other ones you can check out. You can also listen to them on SoundCloud and Spotify. If you don't want to listen, you just want to talk, just contact us on Twitter. But remember,
there's no A in football.
Yes, if you're trying to find us on Twitter, you find that there's no A in the Football Talk Twitter handle. But until then, Happy New Year, and we'll speak to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.